Hey, it's Webmaster here coming at you, and we're going to do a series on building a website from start to finish. So we're going to be covering all the elements from the time you register your domain name until you cash, or I guess you shouldn't say cash, until you receive your first payment. So we're going to be doing an e-commerce website with selling digital content and possibly fitness products. So without further ado, let's go through what we're going to get done here. First thing we're going to have to do is obviously you're going to need a domain name. So most of the time you've already have that established, and there's really not much to do other than to pay your $7 or $20 or whatever the case may be for that domain name. So after you register your domain name, you will need to configure it, and you will need to configure it with the hosting information. So your hosting provider should be able to tell you what that is. For me, example, it's 2 IP addresses. It is a version 4 and version 6 IP address. And you pop that into your DNS, and in the hosting configuration, which is usually pretty well gotten to, I guess you could say, from within, if you log in, and you should be able to configure your DNS. If not, always something I can help you out with, depending on the different host. Once you do that, you tell that domain name that that is where your website will be, the server that your website will be hosted on. So very simple. Tell the domain name, the information where the server is, and you point it to there. Very simple. The second step from there is to then obviously have your hosting information set up. Usually GoDaddy, one-in-one, a million different ones. You get a username and password and a million things in there that you can configure, and then they can try and upsell you with and do all kinds of fancy stuff. But really, all you need is the FTP access, which is a username and password that you probably can set up if it's not already set up for you. But it's FTP access. So that is what you would need. FTP access with a username and password. And that is all you need to get started from this particular thing that I will not cover. I will not cover you. It's pretty straightforward doing a domain name registration. Go to onein.com, type in a name. If you like it, open a new account, get it registered, and that's all you have to do. And wait for you to either get hosting there, or you can get hosting anywhere. I have dedicated servers. I do things to them to make them faster for some of the content management systems that I run. And, it's an easy thing to do. And that's what we'll be using here. So we're going to be using one will be Joomla, the other will be WordPress, two different series, but basically the same type of thing. And both are content management systems, which basically you load a bunch of software on a server and it's easier to make a website. Back in the day, you used to actually have to code all this stuff, HTML from scratch, link it to a database, run some PHP code, do all kinds of fancy stuff. Now it's just pretty much find this content management system you like, get some plugins, customize it, and having a little bit of knowledge on the back end will go a long way. But for this particular purpose, you will not need that. All you will need is a domain name, username and password for your FTP, or I could set one up for you. With that, we are going to use a framework, and a framework probably can be done. I'm not sure on WordPress, they call them themes or different things, but there is themes. A theme is a theme. There's all based upon them these days. And you can choose from a million. You can Google Joomla theme, you can Google WordPress theme, and you can pretty much find whatever you want. All are in sandboxes unless you know how to customize them. And, CSS coding and things like that can help you get outside of the sandbox and do a little bit more. But they are getting better every year. They seem to be coming along and having more capabilities into them and making things a lot more easy. So with that, I'll give you an idea of what we're going to be downloading here. We're going to be doing the Gantry framework. And this is something that is a Joomla install. However, it has some additional software on top of it that makes it a lot easier to manipulate and add things such as some excuse me, some of the search engine optimization stuff, some schema markup, and some of the advanced things they put in here make it very easy to do some of the tricks of the trade as far as getting your content indexed and SEO'd up properly. So what we do here is we download the Gantry, and there's different types, and you can do this for Joomla or WordPress also, but the first one we're going to do here is for Joomla. And we go ahead. There's different types. You can use it as a plugin. Let's say you already have Joomla installed. You can install the Gantry plugin on top of that and activate it and use it. A theme, same type of thing, where you install the theme within Joomla. And there's two different types of theme, the hydrogen and the helium. One is lighter than the other. Imagine that. So we're going to do the helium skeleton, which is the full install. And it has all the bells and whistles. So I'm just going to go through it all. I've already downloaded here, but basically download it as a zip file and get it into your file wherever it's going to be. So for this particular one, we're going to use it for anthonysgym.com. And we have a lot of the files already on the hard drive here locally, and then we're going to upload them to the server that we've gotten, or the hosting account. And I'll put all this stuff in the notes, but I use an FTP program called FileZilla. Very simple program. You have a site manager up here, top left, and you put in your FTP information, which is 9 times out of 10, it is something like this. ftp.yourdomainname.com. Username, password, done deal. Sometimes, depending on the host, there might be some different types of security things, TLS or secure socket layer. I'm not sure SSL is whatever it is, but they have a whole bunch of different ones that you might have to put in some different ports and some other settings, but your hosting provider should be able to tell you that. All right, so download the zip file from our Gantry framework, which is basically a scaffolding. We're building a house and we need some scaffolding. And, we're going to go all over the place for a whole bunch of different things. And that's part of what the content management system offers, the ability to add plugins and modules and all different kinds of stuff. Anyone who uses WordPress understands that you download something and it does the thing for you. Most of that stuff is free. Joomla is half free. Some of the better stuff is paid for. And just because the stuff that's better paid for is better managed and better customer service. Two little differences between Joomla and WordPress. Joomla was originally created for a member or user-based community. So you would see them on things that have customer profiles, memberships, or a lot more back end to it with the database and user management. Whereas the WordPress was actually a blog, and it's straight up, that's how you do it. It's the first page is a blog, and you write another blog, and it's a blog. Both have progressed over time. I know that a lot of high-end websites, eBay for one, uses Joomla. There's the equal opposite somewhere that uses WordPress, and they're all over the place. I mean, you can do pretty much anything with either one. Whatever you're more familiar with and comfortable with can be done. I design in both. I design in HTML. I've used Dreamweaver forever. It goes all the way back to, I don't even remember when, but. Be that as it may, here we are. So downloading the files to Anthony Gym. So when you unzip it, here's the zip file that you're going to get from the downloads. Let's see what we got here. Today we have the Helium rocket launcher. So it's going to be all these files here, the admin, all these different things will be loaded up into the server, into the root directory. But for now, we're just going to export them into a local drive. So I cut them out, bring them into the local drive, Anthony's Gym, user files, paste. So that usually takes a while, a couple minutes just to get it unzipped and everything, a decent amount of files. But in the meantime, go over here and bring in the FileZilla. So you can make a new site, or you can just connect, if you wanted to, FTP, Anthony Gym, gym.com, and do a quick connect. It should work. Yeah, there we go. That's fine. Oh, yeah, I have advanced security settings on this one, so it's not that easy, but basically you can do it from here. That's fine. And get into it. And this is what you will see. You will see the HTTPS docs folder. And for different hosts, it may call it main, it may call it home, it may call it a million different things, but you got to know what your home directory is. And you get into your home directory, and this is the home directory, which holds your index.php or index.html or index, whatever the case may be, folder. And that will be, what's going on here? This thing is taking forever. I don't understand this unzipping these days. It takes forever. Probably not doing it right. 2 hours. That's absurd. All right, we got to work on that one. So we'll just come to the fact of what we're going to do here. We're going to take the files that we just downloaded and unzipped. They're coming in here, and there will be 15, 20 megs. I'm not sure, 20 megs of it. And we will just copy and paste it over there. I'm not going to do it right now because we don't have all the files downloaded yet. But when we do that, we will then have all the files uploaded on the server, and it would be ready to go. So for right now, we don't have anything at Anthony's Gym. Anthony's. And that's what it looks like. And it's just up. When we go and upload all the rest of the package and install it, you will have a system to go through, and you put in the database, and it will start to load all the software, and we will get what we're going to be working with on the front end, which is the Joomla instance install. So for now, that is all we're going to do, and that will be part 1 of the install. But this will be a full e-commerce, digital content supported, digital download, purchasable content, in addition to shopping cart, product specific, e-commerce, SEO'd, all the good stuff. Take payments, PayPal, MasterCard, whatever you want to do. Make money and get a website up and running. The Webmastery, your own personal webmaster. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel. Give me a like if you would. I appreciate it. And tune in for the next version of building your own website from beginning to end. Start to finish. Build a website. Thank you.